let's take a look at the major scale formula. Now, what a major scale formula is, it's basically a series of whole steps and half steps that form a major scale. And we're going to start out with our C major scale. That's the most easiest one to do because there's no sharps or flats contained within that scale. And it's going to give us our major scale formula. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And if we just analyze all of these notes, before I start, you'll see a fretboard diagram below, and that represents your lower 4 strings of your guitar. Now we're not going to pay attention to that as much. We want to pay attention to what's going on up here on top. So again, we have our major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you see the E and F are right next to each other, and B and C. That represents our half steps. And you should remember between B to C and E to F, we have half steps. And so let's analyze this. So we start with C, go up to D, and we got a half step. A whole step. D up to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. And of course, there's our little saying, big cats eat fast. That reminds you that there's half steps between B to C and E to F. And let's continue on though. So C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, E to F is a half step, F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, and B to C is a half step. So your major scale formula goes whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Now you can take any of your natural notes. Actually, you can take some of the accidentals and put those in there too, but we're going to focus on the natural notes. You can put them in there and then put your musical alphabet in there, apply the major scale formula, and then start adjusting notes. And we're going to do that next with the G. Now you can, there's a thing called flat keys, and B flat, E flat, A flat. And you can start with that also and kind of do the same thing. Those are a little less common, so we won't focus on that here. And you can also do the same thing with F sharp if you want. But again, we're gonna focus on the natural notes here because those are the most common keys. So we're going to now go and move to the key of G major. So what we do, we have our major scale formula. We would add in our natural notes, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we're going to analyze it. G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, B to C is a whole step, C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, E to F is a half step, but we need a whole step. So we need to make that distance between E to F, which is also called an interval, we need to make that larger. So we have to actually make that F an F sharp. So it will give us a whole step. So E to F is a half step. E to F sharp is a whole step. And then from there, we go F sharp to G is our half step. So a G major scale goes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So we applied our natural notes to our major scale formula, and we had to adjust one of the notes. And as you try some of your other natural notes out, you're going to notice you're going to have to adjust other notes also. You just keep track of that major scale formula and adjust whatever notes you need to form your major scale. And we're going to also take a look at F. The F is a little bit different, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Let's start out with, before we do that, taking a look at a relative major and minor. So we have our major scale of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Well, if we start on the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, still all natural notes, going from A to A, that's our natural minor scale. And our natural minor, or relative minor, we're going to call it, because we're talking about how they're relative to each other. They both contain the same exact notes. You're just starting on the 6th degree of your major scale. If you count up, C, D, E, F, G, A. That's your 6th degree. And you just play the same notes from there, and then, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and you have your relative minor scale. Now, here's another thing that you can do. You can just start on your second, your octave of your root. You have the first C, then you got the C at the end, and go back 2. And then that will give you your relative minor too. You start in C, go back 2, and you got A. So that's your relative minor. So now let's take our G major scale we just worked on, and we start on G at the end, go back 2, and what do we have? We have E. So our relative minor of G is E. So we have G major and then E minor. And that's your relative minor. It works like that with any key that you or scale that you apply this to. So your relative minor of G major is E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and E. So now I'm going to take our major scale formula. I'm going to apply F. We talked about F just a second ago. So here's F major. Let's analyze that. F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, but we need a half step. So we do not want to go and make the A and A sharp, because then that's going to mess up our distance between the G and A. We need a whole step there, not a whole step and a half. So we can't adjust the A and make that a sharp. What we got to do in this time is take that B and make it smaller. So we're going to take that B and we're going to bring it down by a half step. I'm going to turn the B into a B flat. And you should know by now what sharps and flats are, how those apply. So now we have F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, A to B flat is our half step, and now B flat to C is our whole step, because B to C is a half step, so we brought it down. That sets it up for B flat to C being a half step, a whole step. C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, and then finally E to F is our half step. So everything else works out perfectly there. So our F major is F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. So now, what do you think the relative minor of F major would be? Grab that F at the end, go down by 2, and it will be D minor. So you have F major, and the relative minor would be D minor. And that's how it works. It doesn't matter what key you pick. It's going to work the same exact way. So stick in any of your natural notes in there, and then apply that major scale formula, and then just adjust notes as needed. And again, whole step is 2 frets, half step is 1 fret, which you should be familiar with now. But your major scale formula goes whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And there you go. That is how you form a major scale.